Well, good morning. How are you all today? Welcome to Integrative Preparedness, the positive preparedness channel where we tell you how to improve your life through preparedness and a positive attitude. Well, Steve, if that's the case, this is for all the new people out there. Everybody who's been with us for a long time knows what we're about. For the new people who have just recently joined, or any new person just dropping by, well, I said, well, if that's the case, if you say that you're positive, then how come you named this one is the future dark and evil? Well, I'll explain that to you in a minute. You'll notice that I didn't say it was dark and evil. I asked, is it dark and evil? Grab yourself something to sip on while we talk. Hopefully out of a Stone Mountain mug, because everything tastes better out of a Stone Mountain mug. I'm drinking this morning out of our official mug for the 2025 annual gathering coming up October 4th in Olathe, Kansas, on the Kansas side of the Kansas City area. You are all invited. It's not a public situation. It's I'm listening for my dog. What kind of a bark is? Okay, he just saw a squirrel. It's not a public and open situation. It's an event simply for Stone Mounters, those who have read my books, and integrative preparedness viewers, and that means you. So if you would like to join us, this is the second annual. We had a great time last year, and I'm looking forward to this one, to see everybody that I met last year and meet all the new people. So if you'd like to join us, doesn't cost anything. Stone Mountain's picking up the tab for everything, but you do need to register so that we know how many are coming, and how much stuff to buy. So you can do that by going to the Stone Mountain website, stonemont.us, not .com, .us, and that's where you can buy all my books and everything like that, and go to the events tab, and it'll take you to the information page, and you can register there. And you can bring guests if you'd like, even if they don't watch the channel. That's fine. Just let us know how many people you're bringing. And also, for those of you coming who would like to order one of these mugs, you can do so through the website in the shop. I think through the shop tab. And I've brought the cost way down on these. You can buy them in singles or in pairs. But I brought the cost way down because you'll order it online and you'll pick them up at the event, okay, at the gathering. So we save money on postage and handling and all that kind of stuff. So we're going to knock the price down for you all who would like to have this. Okay, let's get into the crux of the matter here after I take a sip. You all know how irritated I get with all these negative nabobs and naysayers and people trying to hold you back, and how much I promote positivity, and not just in preparedness but in life. You're gonna get a lot farther with a good attitude than you are a bad attitude. Okay, there's no secret to that, and it's not just in preparedness. But anyway, I was going to make this one. I was going to call this one, "Don't let the negative people hold you back." Because I have seen it so often in my life that when people really try to get ahead. I used to train people on a very, very difficult physical training program, and the first thing that I told them was, you're going to be surprised how many people are going to want you to fail. They won't tell you that, but when you try to really do something well, that means you're getting ahead, and that means you're getting ahead of your pack. That means you're getting ahead of your friends and your family, probably, okay? And you're going to reach, if you really dedicate yourself to it, you are going to reach a level that is going to be above them. That doesn't make you a better person. It should be something that you want to do for yourself, but to them, it threatens them, okay? It says, oh no, they're going on to a higher level. It's just like people who, sometimes somebody comes out of a working class area and they go to college, and everybody starts treating them different, looking down on them and calling them college boy and stuff like that. There is a bigotry among people against anybody who's doing better than them. Not among all people, but against many people. Bigotry against anybody they see as doing better than them. And so they want to hold you back. And I had so many people come to me afterwards and said, "You're exactly right." As I went through this program, as I went through this training, I had so many people try to dissuade me and saying, "Oh, that's too hard. You shouldn't, you're wrecking your body. You shouldn't be doing that. What difference does it make? Blah, blah, blah. Come out and go partying with us." Well, anyway, I was going to name, because of those things and because of the things that I see on so many channels, I was going to call this "Don't Let the Negative People Hold You Back." But I was watching one of the negative channels this morning, and just kind of, I do that. There's a couple channels that I'll watch just to see what the collective hive mind of preparedness is, and of the preparedness channels anyway. Not real preparedness. I don't consider these really preparedness channels, to be honest, but because they have preparedness in their title, they attract a lot of people to them who are interested in preparedness. And so anyway, so I was just kind of, while I was making my coffee and making my breakfast, just kind of had it playing in the background. It was the same old stuff. It blah blah blah. Things going bad in the world, and Trump is maybe the enemy, and all sorts of stuff. But finally, at the very end, they said the future is dark and evil. And I thought, oh my gosh. It didn't surprise me, because it's the common message from this channel and others. Everything's horrible, everything's bad. Your money's not worth anything. Inflation is killing you. We're going to war, and Putin and Xi are so much smarter than Trump, and whatever. It's just a totally a consistent message of negativity. Let me take a positive sip of my delicious coffee out of my wonderful mug. And that kind of, it's not just negativity, it's defeatism. And it does have an emotional effect on weak people. And even on people who aren't that weak, but don't know any better. Okay. You've heard the saying, hurt people, right? Well, negative people try to hold other people back. Positive people try to lift people up. Okay. Those of you who have read my books know what my messages are. In the foreword to my first book, The Reversion, the guy who wrote the foreword said that it's an unbelievably positive story or message about an unbelievably negative situation, and that's true. But I want to read you something about, because whatever happens, you have a choice how to address it. You can address it, or actually be victimized by a poor me, boo-hoo. Life is horrible, dark and evil, and just kind of try to find those around you who will commiserate with you and agree with you. Yes, it's terrible, horrible. Or you can say, hey, you know what? This might suck, but I'm going to do something and improve my life and the life of those who depend on me, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to take a positive attitude. And I'll tell you, in preparedness, other than the good Lord himself, there is nothing more important than a positive attitude. Not guns, not pretty much anything. Okay. So I want to read you something here out of my second book, The Revival. It's just like one sentence. I'm going to read you one sentence. And I looked it up so that I wouldn't keep you waiting to see what page it's on. But it's Jim Wyatt, the main character, and he's given a speech. He's given a talk at a Thanksgiving gathering. This is 6 months after the collapse of everything. And they've brought a bunch of people in, and they've helped a bunch of people. And they're starting to reestablish a safe zone at Stonemont. Okay, and so he's addressing the people in the hall. They've built a hall, and about the future. And he says simply this. He's given quite a long speech in here, and some of you have said this is one of your favorite parts of the book, but I won't read the whole thing. The one sentence is this: we must build the future we want our children to live in. Simple. We must build the future we want our children to live in. I want you to juxtapose that message with what you heard me say about the message from the other channel, which was the future is dark and evil. Okay? Which one of those futures do you want to live in? Now, people who think that these times are darker and more evil than previous times don't know their history. They don't know their they think that, Rush used to say that people have a tendency to think that history started the year they were born. Well, hardly. And people who don't know their history think that things are just more terrible now than they've ever been before. Excuse me, I had a little something in my eye. Well, they're not. Those of you who do know history could give a great lesson to those who don't, explaining that. Now, when people come at it from a religious standpoint, which many of these people do, and saying, well, it's more evil than it's ever been, and I say, are you familiar? And I write about this in my books too. Are you familiar with Nero's torches? Are you familiar with that? I have yet to find anybody who was, but you can look it up. Nero, the Emperor Nero, used to light his garden parties with burning Christians. Yeah, they'd get a bunch of Christians, dip them in pitch, light them up. Tie them on poles around their patio, and light them up. And you can imagine, right? Okay, so if you think that today is more evil than that, well, you don't know. You don't know. I'll just say that. You don't know. And some of these people, they don't know that they don't know. Well, you have a choice to make. And you can either wallow in the negativity of this idea that the future is dark and evil. And you see where that comes from. That comes from a position, a mental position of, I can't do anything about it. Okay? They can't do anything about it. And they won't do anything about it because they don't think they can. They have reconciled themselves to a dark and evil future, and they're just going to suffer through it, and they want you to suffer through it too. And I don't want you to suffer through it. I want you to do better. I want you to build a better life through preparedness. And that's what we say. You can build a better life through preparedness. Because if you're not prepared, if you're not involved in preparedness, you're just setting yourself up to be the victim of the next breeze that blows, right? Whatever happens next, it's going to happen to you, as opposed to the preparedness-minded person, the PMP. You see this mug is the first one that I put PMP on it. For those of you who are new to us, I don't like the word prepper, the term prepper. I just don't. I prefer what I coined, and that is preparedness-minded person, PMP. That's a person who has made it a part of their lifestyle as a result of their proper recognition of their responsibility to take care of themselves and those who depend on them. So, to whereas the one has said, well, I'm just a victim because the future is dark and evil. Juxtapose that with what I just said there. We must build the future we want our children to live in. Okay, what's a key? Well, there's a couple of key words there. First off, future, but the second thing is build. We. Let's take this apart like we do a piece of scripture. We, us, nobody else, we must, okay, have to. If we don't want to live in a dark and evil future, we have to, we must build. What does that mean? Wait, hope, whatever, hope that something happens? No, we must build the future we want our children and grandchildren to live in. So that's basically my message today. Think about, what can you do? Are you building everything you can to make sure that your children and your grandchildren have the future you want them to have? Too many people complain about, every generation, I wish the kids could see the way it was when I was their age. Well, yeah, I get that. How about build a better future instead of whining about what's happened? That's the key. That's the key to a positive life. That's the key to doing anything, really, is working to get better. I don't care whether you're in a grade school math class or whether you're in the military or whether you're in business or whatever. You are always working, or you should be, working to get better at what it is you need to do. And wallowing in the self-pity, pity party, boo-hoo, the future is dark and evil kind of crap, that's not preparedness and is not responsibility. Running and hiding and complaining is not building. It's not fighting. It's not standing up. It's crouching down. It's groveling. Okay? Preparedness-minded people are not grovelers. They are the ones who stand up, assume their responsibility, and try to build the future they want their children and grandchildren to live in. Okay? All right. A last reminder. Oh, by the way, somebody asked me, they said, when is your 7th book on Wings Like Eagles going to be on Audible? It should be on Audible now. I got a message from them several days ago. They said it would be up in 72 hours. All my other books are on Audible. For those of you who like to putter while you listen to my books instead of read them. Or driving. I know we got a lot of over-the-road drivers that like to listen to my books. So you can get that. Just go to the page, the link's down below where you can get them through Amazon. And just go down there and hit the link to Amazon, and you'll be able to find my books. And each one has a selection, paperback or Kindle, and now Audible. So now on Wings Like Eagles, my 7th book in the Stonemont series, should be available on Audible. If not, check back tomorrow. Okay. All right. So again, a final reminder: the Stonemont Integrative Preparedness Annual Gathering this October 4th in Olathe, Kansas, a beautiful part of town. It's on the Kansas side of the Missouri, of the Kansas City area. The Kansas side is the nice side. Okay. If you're coming in from out of town, try to get a hotel room in either Leawood, Overland Park, or Olathe, or Lenexa. They're all nice places. Don't stay in Missouri. Okay. It's a world different. And I want you all to stay alive. Okay. So October 4th, go to the web page, go to stonemont.us, our website, go to the events tab. It will tell you everything about it, and it'll let you register for it so we know you're coming. And then if you want to order one or a couple of these because you're coming, you can do that through the website. It's at a much reduced cost, and you'll pick them up at the event. Okay, so that's how we're saving money. We're not shipping them, and they're only going to people who are there. Okay, right? So on the front, of course, is Stonemont Integrated Preparedness 2nd Annual Gathering. On the sidebar, which I always put sidebars are faith, family, friends. See that? And then on the back, we prepare well today in order to live well tomorrow. Semper Paratus, which is our slogan, always ready. And PMP, preparedness-minded person. So I think that'll do it for today. Be positive. Stop listening to these people, and share this with your others. If you have friends who watch these negative channels, introduce them to this channel. Tell them to stop it. Build their lives. Don't let other people tear your life down. Okay? All right. You all have a good day. Remember that we prepare well today in order to live well tomorrow, and I'll talk to you later.